I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Greetings and good evening. Hello from Swift Current. This is the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown women's event. C qualifier game. Danielle Inglis taking on Kayla MacMillan. Hans Frauenlob here along with me, Sam Steve. How you doing, Sam?
I'm great. It's my fourth game of the day. I've got to watch curling all day. It's a perfect Saturday.
Well, similar for me, kind of a perfect Sunday where I am. 4 games for me as well. Loving it. Team Inglis throwing the yellow stones. And they had the names reversed on the scoreboard in the pregame warm-up. They've figured that out and sorted that out. That makes our lives easier. Kayla MacMillan be throwing the red stones.
Yeah, Team MacMillan coming off of 2 losses in the A and B final, just making them play tonight, where Team Danielle Inglis fought through the C semi this afternoon, beat Jolene Campbell to make the C final.
That's an interesting dynamic, Sam. And so psychologically then, they're really on equal footing here. Winner qualifies, loser doesn't. But you've got one team that was rocketing through the A, and then they've gone bang, bang down to the C, losing 2 consecutive versus another team that has won coming into this game. Does it give the edge to the team that's got the most recent win? What do you think about this situation?
It really does depend on the mentality of the team. With Team MacMillan, they played 2 very close games where they were leading for 7 out of the 8 ends and just ended up on the wrong side of the inch. So they should have a lot of confidence because they've played well in all 4 games they've played. That's came down to 1 or 2 shots. But I always favor the team that's coming off of a win. Long-winded answer.
So that team coming off the win is Danielle Inglis. But, as Sam was pointing out, Team MacMillan's been playing very, very well right throughout. So this should be an excellent battle. Nothing up front. 1 stone on the right-hand side as we look at the overhead. MacMillan trying to use that as a potential jam. Going to throw one in front of it.
Yeah,
coast-to-coast brush.
Sorry, it makes it look like an eyesore. And when you're in the hack, you're like, oh, can't get close to that yellow.
Yeah, that's half into the 12-foot. It's pretty straight up and down first end so far.
Yeah, so I know it says Team Inglis has hammer on our scoreboard, but we do know that Team MacMillan has hammer.
Straight hit, and here's that risk of the jam, but pops and spills, so no damage done. Kayla MacMillan of Victoria, BC. No hesitation. Not a lot of thinking to do on this shot selection, to be fair.
Not 100% surprised, both teams getting their feet wet a little bit, blanking the first end, or attempting to blank the first end for Team MacMillan.
Well, for Team Inglis, this is their first qualifying attempt, so to speak. So in terms of this tournament, a new feeling. But as you pointed out, Sam, qualifying attempt number 3 for Kayla MacMillan. And they'll be thinking, third time surely must be a charm. But being a qualifier, don't want to make reckless mistakes early, and both teams playing this end very conservatively.
Both teams aren't afraid to play with rocks and play for the most part, so I don't foresee too many more blanks.
Well, we are getting later in the evening here in Swift Current, so maybe they just want to fire it up and down first end and just get the game moving along so they can complete the game and hopeful the victor save some energy for tomorrow. You don't want to be out here playing past midnight. Just trading straightforward shots up and down. Sarah Daniels with a hit and roll there. And Danielle Inglis will make her way down to the delivery end for her first shot of this game. But yeah, it feels a little bit like hitting balls at the driving range here just before the game. And it's really straightforward shots, and you're just getting into the rhythm of the game with very low risk.
It's been a common theme for me today. I think 3 out of the 5 games so far started with a blank in the first end.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did a game earlier today between Brad Jacobs and John Epping in the first end. I swear to God, there were 7 freezes around center guards, all lined up behind the center guards. It was just insane. So some contrasts out here. Takes 2 to tango if you're going to mix it up.
Yeah, I'm not overly surprised that both John Epping and Brad Jacobs got after it in the first end.
It was all kinds of fun, let me tell you.
High-scoring game for one side.
It was. John Epping prevailing in that game. Got a little bit of good fortune in the first end to score a 3 and really never looked back from there. Brad Jacobs played him strong, but John Epping and crew looking very good this weekend in Swift Current.
Yeah, they're on fire. They kind of remind me of the Mike McEwen team last year, getting all the momentum that they got. They're on the way anyways.
Kayla MacMillan. Very, very quiet, solid slide and delivery from Kayla. Rips that one out of there with no problem at all. And I like that shot in that situation. Rather than nose hitting there, you know you're going to be throwing the blank attempt on your second shot. So you might as well just rip it off the rings and practice your peel.
Yeah, no point in playing it aggressive and trying to hit and roll into the rings. Too many times you leave it as a guard. And then all of a sudden you're getting forced.
So 2 rocks to come here in the first. Kayla MacMillan playing the Redstones with the hammer. Danielle Inglis looking to throw it somewhere in the rings and make Kayla play some kind of shot for the blank. Going to take it to the other side of the rings just to change it up a little bit.
Yep, gets Kayla throwing the other rotation on her last. Doesn't give her the exact same shot.
Going to go deep in the rings, but it will come into rest into the back 12. So Nebu and Loken cleaning the slide path for their skipper as Kayla makes her way back down to the delivery end. Looking to make contact basically where the target brush is, spill away and blank the first. Last rock coming up here in end number 1 in this C qualifier. Maybe a fraction inside trying to hold the line. This one's heading towards the nose, tracking towards the nose, but good sweep hold there. Spills, and that will be a blank. So we'll head for the second end. No score in Swift Current.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind. From pre-seed to post-harvest, you can count on the Victory Canola program to keep
Second end underway here in Swift Current, and we are absolutely loving it. Great curling action at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. This is a showdown for a place in the playoffs. It's a C qualifier between Kayla MacMillan and Danielle Inglis. Blank first end. MacMillan holding the hammer into end number 2. Hans Frauenlob along with Sam Steep. And Sam, straight up and down in the first, but corner guard up here in the second. Normal service resumed. It looks like we're going to start to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, Team Inglis putting their first rock in the top 4, baiting Team MacMillan into blanking one more end. But a nice
guard
shot from Cassandra.
Very nice guard. And an interesting call in response from MacMillan, saying, let's loop one around that center guard and corner freeze. Sarah Loken, lead player for Team MacMillan, playing this very delicate shot.
Yeah, where that center guard ended up really choked off their corner. That basically makes it unusable. as of right now. No choice but to make this corner freeze.
Great looking line. Oh, that's a peach. Great shot. Sitting directly in front of Shot Rock. Danielle Inglis says, all right, let's start building our fort. That's a very promotable stone, though, for MacMillan later in the end.
Yeah, it's a well-placed rock. Team Inglis will just be chucking up guards for the next 4 or 5 stones, unless there's a double run back made.
Daly being asked to throw that guard. Good weight, but leaves the center guard exposed. Kayla MacMillan says, all right, we can deal with this center guard now. With that stone just delivered by Daly sitting off the center line. Where do you think they want to roll this one, Sam, or are they just going to peel it off?
I assume they're just peeling. You could roll to a corner guard, but it won't really come into play. Could make the just off nose run back as well.
Just goes by the stones in the rings. Big weight. Look how much roll she got. She almost contacted nose and rolls all the way over to the edge of the 12. And that was thunderous.
Yeah, it made a loud noise.
Lindsay debut throwing some smoke. Chance for Inglis to reset the guard. Better looking path on this shot. May over curl. Willing it to come to rest. Still creeping forward and exposing maybe just over half of the red stone. And that'll be enough for Kayla MacMillan to say, yeah, let's take a pass at it now. May not get another opportunity like this.
A good chance to sit 2 here. They'll have to get awfully close to the center guard, but...
Well, if you hit what you see, Sam, it's hard not to see them lying 2 buried after this.
Yeah. I'm
Red
shocked.
Squirt a little bit left. Now they're reconsidering, and we see Kayla MacMillan coming up to the center guard. I kind of like the play at the red now, to be honest. Mainly because you do have such a good chance at lying 2 buried if you make, but it will be a play on the center guard by the look of the brush position. Just gets by the front stone. Rocks flying every direction. Gets the job done, but boy, oh boy, so close to clipping that long stone, Sam.
Yeah, it would have been a disaster if it wicked off the 1 guard. Then Team Inglis could have put a rock in the top 4 foot. Curl just in time.
Kira Brunton. Wants to make a better guard here. Danielle coming out to join the sweep. That is a long guard. Can they get it in play? Yes, they do. Much better line, but that is mighty long.
Yeah, all that guard is doing is getting in the eye of the thrower for the most part. If you get close to it, you're probably over curling the hack waiter anyways.
So ironically, even though Shot Rock is much better covered by this guard because of the distance, last time the stone was, well, at least open for Kayla, and she decided not to make a run at it. This time the stone is fully covered, but she says, yeah, now we're going to make a play at the red. We can go looping around that very long guard, and it's still going to have plenty of time to curl. Got to get by that guard. It's going to be close. No, they feather. And Inglis alertly sweeping that stone up onto the rings. That could be a force point.
Seen that all day, that if you get close to the center line with board or hack weight, it really takes off. Almost acts like a draw.
Yeah, they really go, hard. Don't they?
Yeah.
Well, you hate second guessing, but you know, I take my mind back 3 shots ago when Kayla had half a rock looking at it on the outturn side and decided to play the center guard instead. And now as a result, potentially she's going to be scrambling here to score.
Yeah, it'd be good for Team Inglis making this guard. Makes Team MacMillan's job quite a bit harder.
Not a great guard, however. Still leaving a channel.
I'm surprised they went that direction. That guard was pretty high, and it was going to be hard to cross the face of it with how much room they gave.
It was not a big hole, but it is a hole.
Team Inglis might have been playing with fire a little bit too much. It's hard to miss this shot 3 times.
Sarah Daniels lines it up. She can afford to throw some weight. Well, they're through the port. Now where the rock's going to go. Weld, kind of corner weld.
Pretty good outcome.
Yeah, it is a very good outcome. I was going to have to throw at it. The question is going to be, can she get enough on the high side of the front stone to remove both of them? She's certainly going to get rid of the stone in the back. That one's a goner. Can she also get rid of the front stone? To do that, she's going to have to hit high side with some weight, and that's going to be hard to do because there is a guard up just outside of our picture on the overhead. She hasn't got a lot of room.
She basically needs to hit that red right where the broom is, so Team Inglis not believing this is going to curl.
Not surprisingly, lots of weight on this one. And they're through the hole. Got the action, push the red, push the red, push the red, and just off the rings. Nice shot from Inglis. Got everything that she could out of that shot, left herself lying 2, and that sets up the force. Take us through it, Sam.
Yeah, just a well-thrown rock with a lot of weight. She knew Calissa Daly could hold that as straight as possible, and she did. Gets through the hole and has set up the force right now.
It was so key to push that red stone out of the 12-foot. If she left that red stone sitting second shot, still a great chance for 2 for MacMillan, but because she was able to push that stone off the rings, brings that countertop right-hand side of the 12-foot as we look on the overhead into the equation, lying 2, and that very much setting up a good opportunity for a force here. Still a long center guard for MacMillan to use, so still a possible 2 here for MacMillan if she can sink this one high and get behind cover.
Yeah, the ideal position would be full 8-foot. Obviously buried. Those are pretty high guards, but full 8-foot would make it the hardest shot possible for Team Inglis to make a hack waiter.
Deeper this goes, the easier it is for your opponent to follow it down and remove it. So, as Sam was saying, ideal spot for this rock, fairly high in the rings, but behind cover. Well clear of that guard. Having to wait for it now. They don't really want to sweep it because it's going deeper than they'd like. Comes to rest, straddling the tee line. Probably half buried, but well, there's a good look from the hack end, fully buried. We can see from the overhead, there's a good 12 feet of distance between that red guard and the shot rock. So Danielle thinks that should be enough. If I can skinny that guard on the front, should be able to get to the shooter with enough weight to push it back in the rings and hopefully out of the rings.
Yeah, a lot of times at the junior level and early men's and women's level, skips would overthrow this shot, throw board or control, and would not come close to the red. Obviously, Danielle, with as much experience as she has, will understand that, but it's still important to remember the late finish only comes with perfect weight.
You said it, Sam. It's the hack waiter, isn't it? Sweeper saying that weight might be a little bit up. Waiting to sweep for curl. That really only works with impact when the weight drops down. Gonna get some contact, but probably not enough. No, just gonna push it to the back of the button.
Feels like I spoke that into existence.
You manifested that shot.
Yeah, oopsies.
Well, you know, the weight was probably okay for the shot, but yeah, the line just had to wait and wait for it. Cleared the guard by a good half width of a rock. Needed to really skinny that guard to make. So it will be a chance here for Kayla MacMillan to really throw the same kind of shot she just threw, same path. It's a piece of the 4-foot. She's got 2 stones that she can use psychologically for backing. Her own shot rock, and if a little bit wide and a little full, lay down to that yellow stone sitting on the tee line. Here it comes, last shot, and number 2 for Kayla MacMillan. Sweeper's not laying a brush to it. They think it's got lots of weight, so Kayla's obviously thought about the backing. She has amplified her weight a lot. Waiting for it to move, waiting for it to move. Here it comes. Pushes it back, uses the backing. Good pro thinking there from Kayla MacMillan. And it's a 2 on the board here after 2 ends in swift current. MacMillan leads it by a score of 2-0.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only...
I don't remember a time.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts.
Saskatchewan.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together.
Stronger agronomics. Better.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting. We'll send that one to Paul. Here.
Okay. Go.
Third end underway here in Swift Current. This is the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Wherever you are in the world, glad you're with us. Curling Zone, Curling Stadium. C qualifier game. Kayla MacMillan versus Danielle Inglis. We're here in the third.
Yeah, Kayla definitely using that backing for her last draw. Called the draw, ended up throwing about back line, but perfect team call to make her shot for two.
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. Noted that before she threw it. She had a couple of backing options, and she sure used them. That's for sure.
I'd be interested to see if Team Inglis does the delayed corner or just wants to blank the end. It looks like it's going to be the blank.
Yeah, it does take two to tango if you're going to mix it up. And Danielle saying third end, odd end, not crazy about the setup. So I'm content to keep the play in the ring straight up and down. Try to blank. If you blank, take the hammer into 4 even end.
Well, since we're watching another blank, we might as well update you across the other sheets. In our other C side finals, Delaney Strauss takes 2 against Caitlin Laws in the first end. And Michelle Inglaw is up 1-0 over Ashley Tevenot.
Lots on the line this evening in Swift Current. Lots of teams trying to cash their qualifying position, including this game. Straight up and down from the get-go here on end number 3. Danielle Inglis with last rock, but really no desire at all to attack in this end, preferring to just go straight up and down, play for the blank. Speaking of blank ends, Sam, interesting talk in the curling world about a new rule that's going to be tried at the next Grand Slam, consecutive blank ends. If that were to occur, conceding the hammer after the second blank end. We're all kind of looking forward to see how that'll actually play out. A lot of speculation around how it might go, but I always like to see it on the ice to see what actually happens.
I mean, the best teams in the world are going to have to show us how. It's an interesting new rule, just like everyone thought the new rule of no tick on the center line was interesting. I like that the game is changing, makes it more entertaining for all of us. And it does change the game quite a bit. Our strategies, especially in a 10-end game, would be changed dramatically. Now, obviously, it's an 8-end event, but
every time that there is a rule modification in the sport, it takes a while, but teams and athletes work at it, figure it out. Sometimes there's an intended consequence, and sometimes there's an unintended consequence of the rule change, and you don't really know until you try it.
And the best teams in the world will be able to prove whether it's a broken rule or not, as we'll be able to look at all the stats throughout the weekend and see when it came into play and what exactly happened strategy-wise, and then everyone will learn from it.
Yeah, I gotta say, I am looking forward to seeing it in action and kind of seeing early in the event kind of who's going to be brave enough to blank an end early in a game and see what happens.
There's some pioneers of our sport still playing today.
Absolutely. Some of us remember life before the free guard zone, Sam.
I don't.
No guards in play here on end number 3. Danielle Inglis with the hammer and very much wanting only to trade singles for singles and give herself a shot for a blank in the last.
There are 2 men's draws out tonight. Sam Muybrook versus Steve Laycock. Sam up 2-0 after 2 ends. This is a C, you could call it play-in game. Not quite the C quarters yet. And Evan Van Amsterdam is up 2-0 over Charlie Thomas. Both teams trying to stay alive.
That's what it's all about in a triple knockout. Survive and advance. This one's taking its time. Gonna get contact and big late finish. Might just cling onto the rings, but no, just off the rings. Danielle knows that her opponent, if she just decides to leave that stone alone, will try to freeze to it, so he'll throw one in front of it. Kira Brunton. Get one out there into the wing. It's interesting with so much play around center now, and when you're attacking corner guard, you're typically drawing to kind of the edge of the 8. You don't get many opportunities in a game anymore where you're being asked to throw one out to the edge of the 12. And this one coming up light.
Pretty much the last thing you wanted to do was end up light in that situation. Throwing it through would have been better, considering the whole goal of this end was to blank.
So a chance here for MacMillan to make it a little bit more difficult for Danielle Inglis to blank this end if she can whip one around that stone that came up short. Tidy up work down the path towards that guard. Be interesting to see how Kayla adjusts. She made that shot for a 2 in the second end. It was a draw, but it was really like a conscious backline weight draw because she had backing to use, and she did make this shot well. You're going out to the wing, you just saw your opponent come out light. You know that you threw your draw on the last end a bit heavy. You want to dial it back, but then in the back of your mind, you're saying, well, wait a minute. Kira's stone came up 4 feet short. Do I need to leave that weight on? All these questions race through your mind when you're climbing into the hack.
It's true. I generally rely on my teammates telling me the hog to hog of what the opposing team just threw. If I knew that they just threw a 15 hog to hog, then you need about a 14-5 to make this draw, and then just trust your leg. It's about the 5th game of the event for both teams. Should have a general idea of draw weight.
Well clear of the guard. Not going to get cover. Should stay in the rings. Comes to rest just past T. And now, turn of Danielle Inglis to maybe gear shift. Maybe start thinking about a sneaky 2 instead of a blank.
Yeah, the only issue with rolling behind the corner guard is they're just going to be on the T line, and you're giving Kayla MacMillan the exact same freeze attempt. Basically the same pass she just threw to get forced in the end that you were planning on blanking.
So would you say, Sam, that in this situation it's almost better for Danielle to kind of go past the cover of the guard and almost kind of corner the stone off the rings?
Or just roll to the center line and get your blank. If you
Right.
roll it to back 8 foot, obviously MacMillan will have no choice but to hit.
So just take the play away from the corner altogether.
Yeah.
Job one, get rid of the rock.
Yeah. Anything but nose. If they roll either way, it's a good outcome.
They are looking like they're going to go for the inside flop here. They're definitely not rolling to center here. Going to get that little flip, little roll across, perfectly behind the guard. And now we're going to see if Sam's hypothesis comes to pass. And we saw the broom pat immediately in front of the Inglis stone. So Kayla MacMillan will indeed be trying the freeze. It's going to be interesting, though, because last time she came down this path, the draw came up edge of the 8-foot. So see if she can make the line adjustment.
She has a chance to make me look really good.
Sam, you're always looking good out there, buddy. Making the good calls, giving good advice. Let's see what Kayla can do with it. Had perfect weight on the last stone, just the line wasn't great. So she's going to need to adjust her line slightly to get over in front of that Inglis stone.
She took about 4 inches less line.
Much better looking path. Still looks to be safely by the guard. Now it's all about distance. And that is a hummer. Very good shot from MacMillan. And Sam, does make you look like a genius, buddy.
Yeah.
Very difficult now for Danielle to blank.
It's pretty risky to play the angle run for 2. So your options are back line tap or just take your 1.
Danielle's going to have a look at it. There is a risky straight back, or just off nose run for 2, but got to be surgically precise to make that. Certainly don't want to cheaply concede a steal here.
It's starting to look like they should take their medicine.
Yep, acknowledge that you made a mistake by leaving a stone short of the rings and maybe not rolling back to center instead of attacking flop behind the guard. And so take your lumps, take your 1, but Danielle saying, nah, you still got a shot for a 2 here. Might as well try it. Contact point needs to be pretty much where the brush is.
Yeah, they're assuming this rock is going to run straight or, if any, fall out a little bit. Pretty ballsy call here. It's only the 3rd end. Miss this, you're down to 3, going into 4. But make it, it's a tie game. Risk reward, I guess the math says in Danielle's brain. Let's play the run back.
Potential 3-point swing here on this final shot of end number 3 for Danielle Inglis. Trying the run back to try and score 2. Needs to be just off nose. It's got to curl up a little bit more. Oh, how good. Fantastic. Fantastic.
And no lessons will be learned.
Got rewarded. Tremendous shots and high fives all around for Team Inglis. That was a pretty brave attempt, and the braveness paid off. And we will go into the 4th end. This one locked up at 2.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
Fourth end underway here in Swift Current. RBC Dominion Securities Western Shootout. C qualifier game. This is indeed a shootout. Danielle Inglis gunslinging her way into a risky but ultimately rewarding two in that third end, playing a really tough run back. Made it perfectly.
Could be the momentum shift Team Inglis is looking for.
Yeah, no doubt. Bounce round up here with Sam Stephen. You're exactly right, Sam. That one felt seismic, really. 3-point shift.
Yeah, clutch shot from Danielle. Oh, pretty good setup from Cassandra DeGroot. Forces MacMillan to play this tap on the rock in the top four.
Two Yellowstones nicely lined up. Grabbing a piece of that precious center line, so receiving protection from the no-tick zone as well. Coast-to-coast sweep. Bring that stone full in the 12-foot, coming to rest just short of that white 8-foot circle. Danielle Inglis says we'll just stack them and rack them. Feel like this is an important end psychologically for Kayla MacMillan and this young team from BC, Sam, in the sense that they've lost an A qualifier, they've lost a B qualifier, they're in a C qualifier. They started well, felt like they had Danielle a little bit on the ropes. Danielle makes a circus shot to tie the game up, and it's hard not to feel like you're snake bit at some point, but you just need to pick yourself up and remind yourself that you're still in a pretty good position in this game. Stone, intended guard, audibling all the way into the back of the button. Oof. Talk about snake bit.
Good opportunity for Lindsay Dubé to make this run and hopefully split the Reds as far apart as possible.
Red onto yellow. And yellow onto yellow, and maybe get everything in motion. Gonna flirt with that center guard though, and it's gonna crash it. Chips the front.
Maybe a little bit surprised they aren't even talking about guarding.
So am I. That felt automatic to me as a call.
Yeah. Danielle realizing it's hard to guard both, but if you split the center, you basically do guard both. And obviously the miss would be to guard the red more than the yellow.
Looks like the play is at the red, the front ring. Or is it? It's going to go past the red and into her own. My goodness. Kind of triple you don't want to make.
Yeah, unfortunate there.
Leaves herself lying one, but no longer under cover. She said Sam. Never even looked at the guard as an option.
Yeah, I do like that they did. I think they were yelling down and talking about it a little bit, so at least they had the conversation. That them deciding to hit was the call. Obviously, hitting and sitting threes never a bad plan. It's just a little bit less pressure on Team MacMillan. That's all.
Exactly right. MacMillan trying to keep that pressure on by removing the Inglis stone. Gets to nose. Would have liked a little bit of a roll away from the action and make it a little bit less natural for a double.
Yeah, I imagine Kira Brunson will be pretty close here.
It's kind of a 2-for-1 shot. You can make the double, and if you make the double, you're probably rolling behind cover as well. Urgency in the voice of Danielle Inglis tells us it's over curling. That's a cross nose and spills. That sure did.
For POA, yeah. It is on the center line.
Definitely fooled them, and now it's a chance for MacMillan to use that corner guard for herself. Great opportunity to duck around.
Good opportunity to score 3 if you're Team MacMillan. You get this buried a foot and a half above this center or the T line. Team Inglis is going to be chasing.
I agree. This is really the setup shot for a multi-point end if she can sink this one. Really working it hard. This is going to be close to that guard again. Can they get it by? They don't really want to sweep for weight, but they have to for line, and they clip it. My goodness. Once again, that late finish biting hard. They are lying 2, and the angles aren't as good for a double this time, but certainly an opportunity for Inglis to hit and roll.
Yeah, I think that might have been through the rings if they did get it by.
You could tell that the sweepers didn't want to sweep it, right? They didn't want to sweep it, but Kayla said, boy, we're on that guard, and they had to stay on it. So another opportunity here for Brunton. Catch that top one thin again. Gets a little bit of action. Leaves red lying 1. So the 2 is still very much on. Corner guards available, backing behind the T line on the left-hand side of the overhead.
Yeah, important shot to keep the pressure on Team Inglis. looking more and more likely just to concede 2 than to try and chase this rock if it's made perfectly.
Sarah Daniels making the adjustment. Tight and heavy on her first. Wider line here, but still plenty of weight. Lots of rotation on this handle. And you know it'll finish. Now they're looking to sweep it deep. Not sure why. I guess they're worried about the double.
Yeah, that red one is quite exposed, so they needed to go. If they left it top 8, it would have been a pretty natural double for Team Inglis.
It might have also created a bit more of a jam angle, though, too, on the yellow. But
absolutely,
you have to make a choice, and the choice was try and bring it deep. Winds up in a not bad spot. Danielle can get an inside roll, but almost no chance that she'll be able to roll on top of the stone in the 4-foot. Bring it into the neighborhood. After throwing a tremendous shot to score a 2 in the 3rd, and Danielle Inglis clawing and scratching, trying to avoid dropping that 2 straight back. This one's got some curling to do. No contact yet. Just grazes going by. That's a bit of a disaster, unfortunately, for Team Inglis. Pushes that red stone further behind the guard.
I'm surprised at the weight they decided to throw. I guess they were thinking the double was still there.
Must have, because it certainly fooled them with line.
Yeah.
But if Kayla can sink this one, pretty much sitting on top of her own. 3's on the table.
Yeah.
Maybe a 4.
Full top 8 foot. Full top 8 foot, 3/4 buried is pretty much a perfect spot.
Big moment in this game. Great opportunity for Team MacMillan. Taking an extra moment. She knows what a great opportunity they have here, so she just wants to lock it in.
Yeah, only has about a 2 to 3 foot tolerance here. So you do not want to be behind the tee line.
And again, positive weight. Sweeper's not laying a brush to it. Well clear of the guard. It is not going to sit in front of that stone, so now they audible to try and bring it a little bit past that stone, and they get it just past it. Definitely not what plan A was, and now for Danielle, a big choice. 3 in the rings.
Yep, yeah. I think your only option is to freeze right where her burn is. If you play the hit, you're basically conceding 3. In the 4th end, your odds of winning go down dramatically. So if you do have to make the freeze.
Challenge with the freeze here, though, Sam. Boy, oh boy. You're right. It's the shot to play. It's always the shot to play if you make it. Coming down there. She never turns across nose and leaves her own stone sitting outside the 4-foot. Then it's a draw to the 4-foot for 3 for Kayla. So if you're going to try the freeze, great, but line so crucial. We've seen how much these draws move once they start to move. Getting the line right when you're making your freeze call in this situation, it's so tough.
Yeah, the longer they take deciding the shot, the more convinced I am that the freeze is probably not the call. When if you don't know where to put the broom, you're not 100% sure what hog to hog you need. You're basically playing bingo and just hoping you win.
Sadly for Danielle, not a lot of great options besides that.
Yeah, I think you have to freeze.
Hit the shot rock, you're conceding 3.
Yeah.
Hit second shot, can't really roll behind cover, you're probably conceding 3.
Correct.
Freeze, make it great. You're probably conceding 2. You take that right now.
Yes, their best option.
But where is the line for this shot? A little bit wide, sit it in the open hit for 4, over curl, draw for 3. So tough. Shot on its way for Danielle Inglis. Sweepers on it out of hand. I think they are worried about over curl here. Really pounding it. Life and death to get it around the corner guard. Are they going to get a little flip and a bonus? No, they aren't. So it will be a draw for 3 for Kayla MacMillan.
Weight was pretty close, just the line was about 2 feet off.
That was my worry, is where do you put the stick for that shot?
It's basically a guess. They did watch Kayla's not curl enough, so they kind of went off of Kayla's throw, but imagine Danielle and Kayla's throws aren't as similar, so the broom was kind of a guess.
MacMillan has the luxury now of almost the entire 8 foot to hit with that Inglis stone over curling. Does have backing to use, but she sure doesn't want to slam it. Full 8 foot, we'll put a 3 on the board for her. Looking on it out of hand. Not heavy. Dragging it, and no problem at all. Well managed by the sweepers, full 4 foot in the end, 3 on the board for Kayla MacMillan. And we head to the next end in Swift Current. MacMillan 5, Inglis 2.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
That's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster. Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Fifth end of this C qualifier. Here in Swift Current, it's the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Danielle Inglis taking on Kayla MacMillan. MacMillan snapping a 3 in that fourth end to enjoy a 5-2 lead. Inglis with the hammer, playing 5. Corner guard up. Sarah Loken.
Yeah, that was a really important end for Team MacMillan. Team Inglis could have gotten a big momentum boost after that angle run for 2, and they shut it down right away in the fourth.
Yeah, 3s are big anytime, but a 3 after you've drawn what could have been a demoralizing 2. Even more important, so I think that's very astute, Sam. If you feel like you've lost the momentum, just to grab it straight back with a 3 like that, really big.
Pretty surprised with this hit call. Down 3.
Yeah, me too. Ordinarily, you're looking for rocks in play when you're chasing. Danielle choosing to eliminate here rather than accumulate. Pops 1, flops in front. Not a bad result. Almost better than the double for me.
Much better than the double. It's a pretty hard rock to eliminate without getting rid of your own.
Been a lot of curling for Team MacMillan today. They will sleep well tonight. Ba-boom! That was done with authority. Absolutely smoked those stones off the center line and rolled all the way over to the wing in the process.
Yeah, she made it too good. They wanted to choke off that corner guard and make it hard for Team Inglis to use it all, but does overroll a little bit.
Lindsay can really fire it. Daly trying to wrap one around. Big sweep from Team Inglis. Wrap it half around. Kayla MacMillan immediately running up to the corner guard. Says that's the danger rock. Let's get rid of it.
It's interesting. I know they're up 3, but they could see at least half of that yellow. It doesn't seem that dangerous to chase. But
they could certainly chase it, but MacMillan playing the percentages, saying the guards are going to hurt us. Let's bring the play into the rings.
No mistake by Lindsay Dubé.
Vaporizes that guard.
Nice opportunity for Team Inglis to have a chance to score 2 right back if they can make 2 or 3 perfect guards in a row.
That is a pretty good one. Fully covering shot rock. Kayla says, yeah, we'll just rip it again. Making perfect guards tough on this ice. Flintstone takes a pounding again. Removed from play. It's more to the guarding well, I think, for Danielle. Yes, indeed. I block him, you smoke him. I block him, you smoke him. It's a game of chicken, really.
Yeah, we'll see who blinks first.
Cheer Brunton. That one overcurled a fraction, maybe showing half a rock, and now Kayla saying, can we dig it? Seems to be a consensus from the hack end that, yeah, let's give it a try.
If you keep peeling, you're just conceding too. Eventually you'll want to chase something, and this seems like the best opportunity.
Daniels. No, says Kayla. Nothing but air yet. We got no contact. Gonna get a tiny piece. Is it enough to push it out of the rings? No! It's gonna push it into shot rock position behind that red. My. Danielle can give herself the luxury of thinking, oh, let's take another one here. Somehow manufacture a 3 out of this. Kira Brunton. Where's perfect, Sam?
About full top 8, so the 5 weight call zone. Right where Danielle's boom is perfect. Any lower and they'll leave a slash double. Any higher and you're not shot rock. So.
Well, they've outcounted the red. Good brush. I'm sitting short of the red. They are lying 1-2.
Yeah.
Opportunity for Kayla to run that red onto the backstone if she chooses to.
Yeah, pretty good opportunity to sit one buried.
Yeah, red just off nose on the inside. Gets a little inside action on the backstone. Walks it over into the edge of the 8, fully covered. Not an easy shot, though. out to the wings here, out into the weeds.
Just off nose will be really close to perfect.
Now it's over curling. Just missed the line call, I think. Sam got a good inside roll with the shooter, however. Teasing Danielle a little bit. She can see half. Tempting her to chase it.
Yeah, and you basically have to. You could play the run back, and Danielle's made a run back on that side of the sheet already this game. But you do see a thick enough half to hit and roll and sit two. They're deciding to just freeze, though.
Danielle knows if she does chase that it's pretty essential that she saves the shooter. Maybe she doesn't think that she can get enough contact to do that. Now the teammates are saying, well, I think maybe you can see more than you think, Danielle.
Well, they did a good job in meeting Danielle before she starts her hack routine, stopping her and talking about it. Good
Amen. Made that exact comment in the last game that I did earlier on today. I used to say that with my teams as well. If you've got input, come on down the ice and share it, but please do not share that second shot thought input when you're climbing into the hack. That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So after that further input, Danielle comes back down the ice, and I think that's a good idea too. Restart the process. If you're going to change your shot, go through the full routine. So it does look now like she is going to make a play on that red. Delicate shot though. Goose the weight, might track a little bit, underthrow it. We've seen how much it moves, so Danielle's going to have perfect line and weight here to make.
Being down three, it certainly feels like a must make.
Yeah, two feels really important for Danielle here. Certainly cannot afford to drop a steal. Shot's on its way. This one's starting to make its move. I'm not sure it's going to get by that stone in the front ring. It's just going to clip the yellow. Pushes it towards the red. Still out counting that red, importantly.
Yeah,
debris falling on the ice. Stuff happening everywhere here, Sam. Bits and pieces flying everywhere. Come off your broom. Is that your stopwatch? What is that? I'm not sure. Red line 1-3 currently. That would be the play for the Force. Split the rings. Good news for Kayla, she's got lots of rings to play with. Lots of tolerance here. Anything full 12 or better will be good. Line them up, bonus. But you're gonna have lots of separation. Sometimes it can feel a bit harder, Sam, can't it, when you've got really effectively the whole half of the house to draw to. Sometimes there's almost too much space in the mind of the thrower.
Certainly, and I mean, this shot is mostly a line shot, or a weight shot, sorry. You can't leave a double for two. We've already seen Danielle Inglis's hitting ability this game.
Sweepers are really leaning into this one. It is not heavy. They're going to be life and death to outcount that stone in the 12-foot. They get it to the rings. Do they get it in far enough? Yes, they did just enough to outcount that stone on the right-hand side of the picture. But if she wants to take it on, double takeout opportunity is there now for Danielle. And she is lining it up.
I think the scoreboard says take on the double. Taking one here and being down 2 without in 6 is just obviously not a great spot to be. Obviously giving up a steal isn't either, but last time she took on the risk, it panned out.
Slightly awkward angle for Danielle. About 5.5 feet between the rocks. Looks to me like she's going to have to hit about a quarter. Thick quarter.
Last rock here in the 5th.
Final stone on its way for Danielle Inglis. Trying to cross house double to try and score 2. Sweeping for curl now. Going to be close, but it's going to go just underneath, and it will be a steal of 1 for Kayla MacMillan. Good attempt from Danielle, just needed to curl up another 1/2 inch, but that's the sport of curling. Steal of 1 for MacMillan. That gives them a 6-2 lead as we head for the 6th in Swiss with Current.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Hello everyone, welcome back, Swift Current. We are at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. It's a C qualifying game between Danielle Inglis and Kayla MacMillan. This Frauenlob along with Sam Steep. Sam, big steal for Kayla there in 5, giving her a 4-point lead and a bit of a stranglehold on this game.
This is a little bit of deja vu of the Corinne Brown game. Team MacMillan up 2, 3, 4 points early in the game. You couldn't hold on. So I wouldn't count Team Inglis out.
Well, very good point. After you've had to feel like you've had control of a game and let it slip away, when you get yourself into the same position later in the same event, it might be lurking in the back of your brain. Be interesting to see if they change their game approach this time relative to that game. 2 in the rings. Not great line on that second one, though.
Yeah, I think they're trying to tap the rock in the top 12. And they're over-curled on them.
So corner guard up for Danielle. Stones in the rings for Kayla. Wraparound attempt coming up here for Sandra DeGroot.
Yeah, really big end. Obviously, they need to score multiple. If you can score at least 2, you have a chance to steal the game. That draw attempt over curling.
Yeah, that'll be disappointing, but any guard's a good guard for Team Inglis, so she would have much preferred to be around and behind, but 2 corner guards are usable stones for Danielle. Going to have to push all your chips into the middle of the table now if you're Danielle Inglis. Taking on a lot of risk. Lindsay DeBuay. Cailey would quite like that front stone moved. Tap it, push it back a foot or 2.
A pretty good sweep. Slowly starting to shrink that scoring area.
Good point, Sam. Access to the button blocked from both directions now. Danielle trying to hit shot rock. Flop behind those corner guards. That's Daly. Sweeping for curl. It's going to get to nose, but I don't think it's going to get across nose. Beaks it, sits in the open.
Yeah, those hits have been running a little straighter this evening, going inside out. Anyways.
Easy loads and fires. Sweeper say that's got plenty of weight, Skipper. Skipper says that thing is going to curl, stay on it. They get the little inside flop, hiding a corner behind that corner guard, choking it off. Nice shot. Makes it much harder for Danielle to use those corner guards now.
Calissa looking for backline weight to try and get under the corner. Realizing that's quite a difficult shot, asking Danielle if they can hit roll to center, which isn't a bad weapon.
You have to move stones, but you hate hitting him hard in this situation if you can avoid it. And this one is going to whistle right through the hole. Goodness gracious. Not what Team Inglis needed right there. Bit of an embarrassment of riches now for Kayla MacMillan.
Yeah, unfortunate miscue. There's a lot of weight. I think they were just trying to make the double. I don't know if you needed to throw that much weight. Throw above control weight, just hit and roll the center line. Sit shot stone or right beside shot stone.
Yeah,
Open up
or
your
even
corner
trying something
guards.
like even freezing second shot in that situation, I think might have been an option. Trying to do
Obviously,
something
they
to
didn't
generate.
want to. It was just a lot harder of a shot.
Yeah, exactly that. Going to be harder to control your shooter. And Kayla had a look at those corner guards, but the way that front stone of the 8-foot chokes it off, I don't think there's a whole lot of percentage in trying to clear those corners right now in this situation. Doesn't really help you. I always ask myself in this situation, Sam, what would happen if we threw nothing? What would she do?
Yeah. They really can't make, it's pretty tough to make the double peel without jamming the yellow into the rings.
That's kind of where I'm at. Right now, corner guards are effectively neutralized as far as I'm concerned. If you make a play at them, all you're doing is making it easier for Danielle, I think, rather than harder.
Yeah, I don't see it being a bad option to draw and sit 4.
I'm with you. I would just be leaving those corners entirely alone.
Scoreboard says eliminate, and sometimes it's hard to believe that sometimes eliminating up 4 isn't the answer.
You kind of have to believe what you're looking at on the sheet of ice in front of you. And if I'm looking at this rock alignment right now, red, corner guard choked off, shooter half covered. And like I said, you throw this one into the boards, what's Danielle's next shot? But it is going to be a play at the corner guard. So we're going to see this theory tested at least. I'm not sure if the play is at the front stone or the back stone. What do you think? Maybe it's the back stone, Sam.
Well, I believe it's the back stone. Try to roll into the rings, maybe?
Whips off the back stone, opens up the front. And that's what I didn't like about the choice. Not that it was a bad shot. It was executed well, made what they wanted to make, which was remove the guard and open it up. But to me, you've just made life a little bit easier for Danielle. It's still hard, right? Still really hard. Got stones across the front of the 8-foot, so it's by no means a great situation. But if Danielle chose to now, she could freeze into the pocket of those 2 stones front 8-foot. Yeah, I think it just created options for Danielle that she didn't have a minute ago. Part of the beauty of this sport, though, there's always an option. It's down to execution.
That's what makes it so hard to coach sometimes. They can play the absolute wrong strategy and win the game and be happy.
Yeah, exactly. Terrible calls, executed well, and we won. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. Sometimes talent does win.
Yeah, well, that's true. Usually shot execution trumps tactical decisions. You see a shot, even if it's the wrong shot, often if you make it, you're good. You got to make it perfect. It's all about tolerances, really, isn't it, Sam?
Mm-hmm.
Giving yourself the best chance of making any particular shot. We can see now that that stone talked about creating an opportunity for Danielle that she didn't have. She cozies one into the nest there. Now all of a sudden Kayla has to do something with her own stones, and you never like doing that.
As long as they're sitting 3 after this, it's a pretty good shot.
They are indeed sitting 3. Three stones to come for Team Inglis. I'm not so sure I don't nose freeze that stone in the front 8-foot, Sam.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, desperate times. They are down 4. Don't hate the double call, though.
Yeah, the double's is a reasonable call. To me, the only chance of scoring 3 is if this stone being delivered survives somehow through the course of the end. Gonna jump off her own, rearrange things, move them around. Inglis now lying 2-4. Problem for her is the number 2 stone. Wide open for Kayla MacMillan.
Yep, Danielle Inglis most likely going to need to make 2 doubles to score her 2 points this end to crawl back into this game.
Sarah Daniels holding the brush. Kayla MacMillan into the hack. Not sure where she'd like to roll this one to, Sam. Don't want to again create an opportunity for Danielle.
Yeah, I guess the perfect roll would be about half buried under the yellow in the top 12. Makes it that there's really no double available and you're sitting 3.
That would be position A for sure. It's on its way. Not laying a brush to it. Just fractionally over curls. Pretty good shot. Needed to roll maybe a half a rock less, but that's kind of nitpicking. Very good shot, line 3.
Yeah, the only issue is they did leave. It looks pretty close to the triple. If not, at least make the hit and roll over. You might be sitting 2nd, 3rd after this.
I do think you have to try and set it up here, don't you? You got really brave. You could try thin double. See if you couldn't plant yourself somehow behind those 2 front stones.
Yeah,
taking super high risk.
I think about half a rock is going to be pretty close to making this and sitting 2nd, 3rd.
Yep, that would be a good result.
Yeah.
Danielle does know is that she's being outcounted by 3 red stones right now, so she's got to move something here on this rock and probably move a couple. Well, is she thinking about just playing a tiny tap on the shot rock after all that discussion?
I think it is. I think it's a just off nose tap to the back 4-foot. It is another way to generate your 2 points.
Yeah, if 2's the goal, and that's pretty much only the only realistic goal from here. This is a pretty high percentage way to try and generate it. Just back button weight, really just enough to push the redstone off the button. Great looking line if they can hold it. It's really moving though, and it's losing momentum as it curls. It's gonna come up short.
They were calling back for the whole way. I guess that center line might be slowing the Rocks down a little bit more than they expected, as that comes up late.
It's one of these situations where you don't want to make the shot for your opponent. You're lying 1 right now. Look at the scoreboard. You're up 4. Guard it out. Attempting to make a play at that yellow and just try to slam it and push the yellow out of the rings, but hit it full. Yellow squirts and hangs around the edge of the 4-foot, and all of a sudden Danielle's got a hit for 2, and you're not feeling very good about yourself.
I mean, you just can't give up 3. I don't see. I think drawing is the best call. If you sit 1st, 3rd, 4th, you're never going to give up 3.
Well, that's basically where she's at right now in terms of her rock positioning. So for me, what is wrong with the guard here? That's what I'm asking myself.
Yeah, guard or draw to the top 8-foot. The guard is certainly the safer call.
Make the guard. Worst you're going to do is drop 2. An absolute worst. Even if you make the guard in perfectly, worst you're going to do is drop 2, I think. If you come into the rings, move something around, change an angle, something weird might happen and create a shot for 3 that Danielle doesn't have right now.
Could very well be a game-winning shot.
If she can then get this one just across center line, about 1/3 of the distance short of the rings, I think she's in a pretty good lockout position. Keepers think it's got plenty of weight. Really want to come into the rings, but it seems to be heading that way. So they're going to call an audible now, and they're going to sweep it up. And that actually works pretty well.
It's pretty much perfect.
Covers the path directly to the stones in the 4-foot circle. Danielle still has a shot, maybe just. Pound the yellow on the nose. Maybe you get 2 that way. Maybe.
If you hit what you can see on that yellow, it's probably for 2. And it's either that
stone
or
curls
double.
Exactly. So if that stone curls another 1/2 inch, that shot's not there. The yellow, red, yellow, red.
Team Inglis seems to think that yellow, red, yellow isn't there.
Angles aren't great. Hit yellow on the nose, red. They're closer to it than we are, and they might be saying, well, yellow, can we get across nose? And even if we do, is the red going to go past the yellow instead of making contact on it? Looking at the thin double, that's tough. Looking at the jump shot off the stone off the side. That's tough, but it might be more makeable. But the bottom line for Kayla MacMillan, every option being looked at here is a maximum too. Every option being looked at here is a 10 or 15%er in terms of make ratio. Tough shots, every option she's got.
This is a gamer shot.
So after all of the evaluation, looks to us, Sam, thin double. Is that the what you're seeing?
Yeah. Seems like a lot of ice. We've seen rocks run pretty straight here. But yeah, you're just touching 2 centimeters of that red in the top 12.
Delivery on its way for Danielle Inglis. Trying a circus shot to stay in the game. Needs to clip the top, redirect, clips the top, redirects, but not enough. Blows by, and it's a steal of 1 for Kayla MacMillan. Danielle looks back at the scoreboard, down 5. Are they going to keep playing is the question. Bit of discussion, so we'll just wait a moment just to see if the game is going to continue. Steal of 1 for Kayla MacMillan, but we'll just stay with the game here for a moment, pending any discussion around whether they're going to keep fighting down 5 with 2 to play.
It's an elimination game. You can score 3, steal 2.
Yep, you've come all the way to Swift Current, so you're in a qualifier and you don't want to necessarily give up the ship, so it does look like they're going to continue to play, so we will take a break, head for the 7th end, MacMillan leading it 7-2.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Seventh end, last draw of the evening in Swift Current. We are at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown C qualifier game. Kayla MacMillan taking on Danielle Inglis. MacMillan with a steal in the 6th end, carrying a 5-point lead. And that stone, the attempted tick on the corner guard, pushed out of play, so that one's going to come back. But it's just the kind of shot that you try when you're 5 up, Sam.
Oh, I love the call. You basically secure max giving up is 2 if you make it.
Corner guard does survive. Free guard zone rule called. But it's really 3 or bust here for Danielle Inglis. And even with a 3, stealing 2 coming home, that's a tall order. But it is a qualifier game, it is an elimination game, and you gotta credit Danielle and her teammates. No quit in this team. As long as there's a glimmer of hope to get back into it, they're gonna fight. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, it's the right play. If this was a, elimination game, 3-4 games from now, and maybe you're done. But backs against the wall, needs to have 2 perfect ends.
Two in the rings for MacMillan.
Yeah, you never love a stagger, even though it's in the top 4.
That's right. That's overlapped guards, right? You're going to go around those. Exactly that, Sam. Anything that looks like staggered or overlapped, even if it's deep in the rings like that, Danielle will be saying, well, that's something I can use.
2 perfect lead stones by Cassandra DeGroot. Setting up the end for the 3 points they desperately need.
Going coast to coast to try and wrap this one around, but it's going to come up light. Grazing the second of the corner guards and stopping short of the rings. Free guard zone part of the end is over, so it can be bombs away for Kayla MacMillan and company. Unlike the last end, in this situation, absolutely hammer the corner guards.
I was wondering if they would even try the double peel here. Not a ton of risk. You could double run jam, but deciding just to peel the top one.
Sarah pointing out from the other end. Catch that top one just off nose, maybe a clear 3. But will wind up making a double clear the hard way. I don't think that was in the flight plan, but the good result. Always an option when the stones are accumulating.
Sometimes even your misses look good. And, Team MacMillan having that kind of night so far.
Sam, for our viewers that maybe have joined us in progress, you've mentioned the pathway to here for both of these teams. Kayla MacMillan, 3rd time to the well in terms of trying to qualify in this tournament. Double corners replaced for Team Inglis. Sarah Daniels wasting no time with this peel attempt. There's the top guard.
Yeah, ever since Lindsay making that double peel, it's looking more and more likely that Danielle Inglis will be forced to 2. You'd love to draw to the back 12 foot and use that stagger. Just you'll probably lose your corner guard. So you probably want to draw around the corner and then draw around the stagger. Try to bring 3 into play.
So once more around the corner guard. Team Inglis. Kira Brunton. Sam, you think preferred zone for this is deep, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, line is the most important part. Like, obviously be in the rings, but has to be buried.
Working hard to get it by that guard. They're just kind of tickle it going by, redirects. Comes short of the rings. Easy decision for Kayla. Taking this one, please, Sarah. Word you love to hear as a sweeper as you're running down the ice, keeping pace with appeal. When you hear the skipper say clean, I'm pretty confident that shot is made, and that was a beauty from Sarah Daniels.
Surprised they're not drawing around the stagger. I think that's the only way they can score 3 now. If they draw around the corner, it's just getting peeled.
Yep, I think you're exactly right, Sam.
Obviously, with the uphill battle, Team Inglis needs some zeros out of Team MacMillan the last 2 ends, but
well, the best way to generate a 0 is make it a really tough shot. Judgment call on this one is the way to make it a tough shot is to go around the corner rather than go around the staggered stones in the forefoot.
It's a great
You're
sweep.
exactly right. Yeah, it was a great sweep. To get it fully buried, as Sam pointed out. If you eliminate the corner guard here, kind of takes 3 off the table.
Could even audible and throw a center guard as well.
Yeah, that's true. Gear shift is an option.
Up 5, it might be a little silly, but could end the game.
It could. A bit of discussion going back to what instinct would say is shot A, which is rip the corner.
But like I said, yeah, this peeling this corner basically guarantees only giving up 2 and being up 3 with hammer in the 8th.
Which, at the start of the game, if you would have said to Kayla, is that a situation you'd like to have? The answer to that would be a decided yes, please. Pretty good looking stone. Makes the peel across the top of the stones in the 8-foot and 4-foot. So now, Danielle, is it time to take on the come around the overlap? Or saying, okay, make the double now. I'm going to have to be satisfied with 2 and coming to the realization that with the shots available now, 2's the best she's going to get.
Yeah, no point in drawing. One, it's not the easiest draw in the world, and exactly, they're just going to put the open one. So make it right on the nose. You guarantee your 2 points. You keep very, very slim chance.
Stone curling fractionally too much, rolling towards her stone in the wings, which she didn't really want to do because this now sets up very makeable double back for Kayla MacMillan.
Yeah, the game-winning shot right on the nose.
Opportunity to effectively end the game right here for Kayla. Double off these yellows. I suspect that Danielle will say that's enough, and congratulations. Looking for a right on the beak. Coast to coast sweep. There goes one, there goes two, and there is the extension of the hands for the handshake, and it is victory for Kayla MacMillan, Sarah Daniels, Lindsay Dubois, and Sarah Loken. They will qualify and move into the playoff rounds here in the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Third time a charm indeed for Team MacMillan. Went up the A side, lost an A qualifier, lost a B qualifier, but getting it done in the C bracket. Disappointment for Danielle Inglis and her teammates. But well played to Kayla MacMillan. They will advance in this tournament. Final thoughts, Sam?
Yeah, really one-sided game other than Danielle Inglis making that angle run to score their 2 points for the game. It was Team MacMillan all game long. So, but they deserved a well-deserved playoff spot for them going into tomorrow.
So that'll do it for us tonight from Swift Current. Playoff action coming tomorrow. Please rejoin us in Curling Zone and Curling Stadium. For Sam Steep, I'm Hans Frauenlob. That will do it for us. Team MacMillan taking the victory in qualifying here in Swift Current. Thanks for joining us.
Handcrafted in Canada, Artline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.